AMG episode number 99, one shy of 100, and we are here with bonus Blair. Blair, how are you?
Fantastic. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. We're a little bit of excitement around the shop today, given the focus in on Carlo's hat. Big
Indeed,
game tonight,
indeed.
so there's been some excited chatter. I'm trying not to let myself go there too early, but yeah,
It's always tough. Like I said, I as much as I love the Jays, I also despise the Yankees. So it's a combination of these two things. I don't let myself get too far, Blair. I'm
yeah,
going to enjoy the moment. I'm just going to relax because at the same time, you expect that they will bounce back in some way. So my
yeah,
recommendation to the players would be just to literally take it an inning at a time because the concept hasn't changed. You have to kind of still do the same stuff. You can't get sloppy, basically.
yeah.
Just focus on the matter at hand. And like I said, but I got to tell you, if speaking of, and I taught Blair a new wonderful word. Those of you who follow my podcast and my channel are familiar with the shot and fraud. And Blair has now been introduced to the shot and fraud, and now he understands. And Blair, the shot and fraud would be tremendous because if the Jays
Oh,
beat down the Yankees one more time, the New York
three
media will
zero.
eat them. The New York
Yes,
media will consume them whole. I kind of want this, is what I'm
it's
saying.
gonna be bad. Yeah.
It's, it's a small thing, but just give this to me. Oh, also, one quick aside. This is kind of a fun thing. Now, by the time this posts, I don't think it'll be available anymore. But if people are paying attention, always it's an option you can look at. Tops obviously has the license for all the Major League Baseball stuff,
Mhm.
but they produce different Tops Now cards, and Tops Now is has different moments, and they've got this. They've got the Vladimir Guerrero Grand Slam bat flip is a card that is available for people to purchase. And you can, if you purchase them, there's the different unlimited amounts. There's different parallels that are available, but it is also possible to pull, including autographs, all the way to an autograph one of one with the bat flip.
I like it.
So it's one of those things where like they take advantage, like tops, the fanatics with that, they know how to take advantage of the moments and maximize their revenue. And I'll just quickly show this. Like I said, by the time this podcast airs, it will already be over. But it's just something I want to explain it because I'm saying keep it in mind because if there are any big moments down the stretch, it might be something that you want to keep an eye on. So as you can see right there, there's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the bat flip. This is right after the Grand Slam.
Yeah,
And right at the bottom it says, the first club Grand Slam ever in Jay's history. And
yeah.
like I said, you can pull parallels, including this one right here. So that's a mock up of the one of one gold autograph.
Beauty.
So you can pull however many of them. It's like opening a pack. Basically, you can get them. You're guaranteed to get the cards, a couple of copies of it, but then you've got a chance mathematically. Again, it depends on how many they make because they print it to order. So if 5 people order them, well, then that's all they make. But realistically, a lot of times it's several thousand. But it's weird because the Jays are popular here, obviously, but not a lot of folks in Canada necessarily are looking at tops now. So does that keep the print count down a little bit, which in turn
Mm.
gives you a better chance at some of the parallels? I'm not saying I already bought 5, but I'm saying I already bought 5. Just throwing it out there. But yes. But keep an
Awesome.
eye out because if there's any other big moments down the stretch, that may become available for some of the other things. So that's just one example. But again, if anything else happens, cross our fingers. If anything else happens, there's a possibility that that'll be available. And, the other teams as well for other big playoff moments, not just the Jays, it's everybody. Any big playoff moments is included. Otani's going to have some moments probably down the stretch. So they're going to have stuff like that. So that's a print on demand thing. It's a very niche thing, but it can still provide some fun collectibles again for people like a Vladdy autograph would be pretty cool, and we may have one that we'll showcase in a couple of minutes. That's foreshadowing. Just throw that out
Foreshadowing.
there. Yeah. So again,
Um,
just quick things. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny. We speaking of that, like, events that happen, we little, store group text with everybody that's here, watch it. We're all Jays fan, for the most part. And
Mhm.
the game, the excitement, the other with you Savage pitching and you know, he was pitching so well and I was like, oh my God, like this is great. And I was just jokingly aside, I said, that's it. He's my man. I'm selling the collection and I'm collecting you Savage. But then Vladdy gets up and hits the tater, the grand slam, and I'm like, that's it. I'm selling everything and I'm collecting Vladdy Guerrero cards.
Yeah.
Jokingly, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, look.
But I
All
love
I'm
it.
saying, all I'm saying is it's someone, someone who maybe who is associated to AMG, somebody whose name rhymes with Rad. We have a group text with the individual aforementioned.
Mm,
And you know, as that is going on, we saw a text, we saw in a screenshot of your Savage cards, and the responses were as such: "Don't do it, Brad." Uh, and you know, included in there, it's like always say is never go full Manoa and do not go you Savage. Have we learned nothing?
That's true.
No, we were teasing. We have to tease him about it.
I know.
It will never get old. It's too
The,
good.
the Manoa debacle.
Yeah, like the Manoa is a cautionary tale. Stay away from the current pitchers. Stay away. I enjoyed watching him. He has great stuff. It was actually a great
Absolutely.
performance, amazing
Yeah.
performance. Again, wonderful performance for the
Yeah.
franchise.
Yeah.
But as a collector, run away. If you already
Yeah.
have some, well then fantastic. But
Yeah.
it might not be the moment. Not right now. Not while the
No.
game is a little too hot right now.
Yeah.
But either way, it's been fun. So
Yeah. It has
regardless,
been.
we'll cross our fingers and hope for a couple more good moments. So we'll see. Okay, so let me touch on a couple of comments from last week. We'll get into that. And what we'll do is starting next week, we'll start giving you reminders about the Trade Night and Card Show. We're right at the beginning of the month, but we will get there for
Yeah.
sure. Oh,
Yeah.
and also starting next week as well. Next week, will, by the way, will be episode 100. So we'll see. If there's anything special, we'll talk about it on the episode. But either way, it'll be episode 100. Steve will be back, so we will have
Mhm.
him as part of the conversation. But the other piece of the puzzle as well is we'll start giving reminders about the Trade Night and Card Show, but also immediately after, like I mean, the next week will be Expo. So we're also going to start talking about that because we're going to be now approaching. We're basically 30 days away now, so
Mhm.
we're rapidly approaching. It's getting there quickly.
Yeah.
So let me touch on a couple of comments from the last couple of weeks here because we received a handful. So let me
Yay.
start off with this one. This was from a couple episodes ago, episode number 97, appropriate
Okay.
for resigning an individual. We may touch on that in a minute. We'll see. By the way, not 24, 25, 2024, 2025 Ultimate is going to be the main one that I'll feature for a couple of minutes today. So that's going to be a
Yep.
focus. But let me zip through because we've got a little bit of time crunch here. So Kyle Reed here was the one who responded in that one. And I understand this comment, but I want to address it quickly here. It said, kind of sucks for people that would go to the shop and buy nice cards, but aren't given the chance anymore, but asked to buy a repack instead. And we're going to talk about the repack here. This will give me a segue into it in a minute. I understand this, but I also want to
Mhm.
make sure I clarify something because this was on the episode where we talked about the repack with Blake. And Steve was also kind of giving a little background on it. Now, the thing is, I want to respond to Kyle's comment here because Kyle may have missed during that very same episode. Steve inadvertently gave the answer to this question. And let me touch on it this way. And maybe this would be a different way of rephrasing it for some folks so you think about it this way. Two things happen when you create that kind of a repack. When they came together and they agreed to do this, and AMG
Mhm.
was going to source the cards for them
Mhm.
because they have the ability to find people and buy and all that. In a lot of cases, and we've actually talked about this before, and this is something we talk about for card shows. A lot of people may not be aware that, for better or worse, a lot of times when you see something on a card show floor, it may have been bought and rebought several times before the door even opened
Ab-
for you.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the advantage of being a dealer because if you're a dealer there, you're kind of doing commerce amongst each other. So a card may pass hands a couple of times in that same show before you ever got a chance. It might be a little bit unfair, but in reality, that's kind of the advantage of being there while setup is happening because you can walk around and be like, hey, are you interested in selling that? Yeah, I've got whatever on it. I'd be willing to sell it for whatever. And then you do that deal. Same vein. When they came together and came to that arrangement to do the repack, the reality is, and maybe people don't think about it this way, so I'm going to frame this for you. The repack effectively becomes a customer. It's like basically if you were a long-time customer and you say, hey guys, I'm working on the set. Can you keep an eye out on these singles for me? Well, if somebody comes in with a collection and happens to have those singles, if this is a really good customer, two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to know that you already have a buyer potentially for it. So that's going to come into your calculation. And second, because of that, depending on how you want to do your deal, you might make a more aggressive pitch. You might actually make a better offer than you normally would. Because if you're buying it for the store, your goal ultimately as a store, and this is just letting
Mhm.
everybody know, we're giving the insight. So that's why the podcast is here for that.
Mhm.
The goal is to be profitable. The goal is to make
Yes.
money.
Yep.
You know, what that means though is that means if you buy something but it's not going to sell right away, that's okay. That doesn't mean you don't buy it, but it means you have to think about that. So you
Mhm.
might not make as aggressive an offer because you're saying I might be holding this for a little while. There is a buyer
Exactly.
out there, but I need to find them. The longer it takes me to find them, the less aggressive my offer is. By contrast, if I buy this and I know that Bob is going to come in, like as soon as I buy this, I take a picture of it, I send it to Bob, and he's like, I will be right over, and he will come down and buy it
Absolutely. Yeah.
immediately. Well, then I'm probably going to be more inclined to make you an offer, and the offer will probably be better because Bob is already a buyer for it. In this case, Bob is the repack. They already had parameters set. They said we need these many cards. They need to be like this, on card autograph. It's got to be
Hmm.
game use memorabilia. So
Hmm.
guess what? So that means you go through the inventory, and if you find some stuff, some of that inventory was available in the showcases already.
Hmm.
You already
Yep.
had a chance to buy it,
Yep.
and they came by and said it fits our criteria. So now we have a customer for it. In addition, if people came in, and Steve actually touched on this, there were some cards they bought at stronger prices than they normally would because you already had a place for it to go. So I wanted to address it. Like I understand Kyle's comment, but some of that stuff, Kyle, you wouldn't have had a chance to get it anyway. Because one of two things would have happened. Either somebody would have come in and bought it right away anyway, in which case you wouldn't have had a chance, repack or no repack. And the second thing is that for some of those cards, the store wouldn't might not have been able to offer enough to make the person want to sell it, but they got a better offer because you already had a buyer for it, already right in your hand. So in this case, the repack was the buyer. They became
Yep.
it. So I agree. I get the idea behind it. But when Gong Show came to that arrangement with them, the
Yep.
Gong Show effectively became the buyer of those cards. So the store's goal is still to sell product. Well, guess what? They sold the cards. And that's kind of how that worked. So it's, I get the sentiment of it, but there's a lot of stuff in the store right now, and you have
Yep.
availability to it. But some stuff, guess what? Some stuff, and again, same thing as the card show analogy, there are some longtime customers who are going to get first dibs on stuff that comes in, and you will never get a chance to see it in the showcase either, repack or no repack.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly, Carlos. Everything you said is spot on. You've covered everything, like the day-to-day in a retail shop. We're always buying, selling, and exactly like sometimes a card comes in and we're like, I know who I could sell that to, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, okay, or there's a stack comes in and they're just good cards. Do I know a guy that would come in and buy it? Not really. So then exactly, you're thinking about okay. Uh, High-end card, great player. Is it going to sell in shop? We'll try it in shop. Is our eventual goal eBay? That's the way we used to think. Okay, we'll try it in shop for 2 weeks. If it sells, great. If it doesn't, okay. Well, maybe now we're thinking eBay, or we thinking some other method to sell it. But then again, like you said, the Gong Show was the buyer, and yeah, some of those cards were here already. Some of those cards probably sat in the showcases for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them might have been on eBay and had a chance, didn't sell at what we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And we're always going to, we're cards move and go, and there's always going to be, cards. It's just that's why sometimes if you're a collector, it's not always easy to pay the price, the sticker price sometimes on a card. I mean, most times we buy and we can negotiate a little bit, but comes back to that. Sometimes if you see it and that's your guy, that's your card, try to pick it up. But the cards are available, and I understand the repack. The repack is the chance to get some of these amazing cards. Whereas and there are bigger cards. I mean, and like you said, we did pay aggressively on some of them to get them to fill the need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's a great chance that you could come in and pull one of those repacks off the shelf and hit an amazing card. So that's the other end of that. Whereas you might walk in and that card that you get in this box, you're like, man, I can't pay that for that card. It's beautiful, but here's your chance to get it. So
Mm-hmm.
no, yeah, I understand, but that's the part of doing business. But there's always, I mean, you come in and our showcases are kind of full of cards, different things. When you find the exact one every trip in, maybe not, but you move and shake, and that's what you have to do.
Yep, absolutely. So I made sure to reply to this one. Just say appreciate the feedback.
Hmm.
We we respond to this on the latest episode. So hopefully, it may not be a satisfactory answer to you, but it's an honest answer, and I wanted to make sure
Yeah,
that I wanted to make sure you had a response to it because it's a valid pushback. But at the same time, like I said, that's why I gave you the card show analogy. And maybe some
yeah,
people don't realize this, sometimes the cards are spoken for before you ever had the chance to see it. And that's just reality. Because at the end of the day, the job here, while Blair has some lovely displays behind it, if somebody comes by and says, I'd like to buy everything on that shelf behind Blair, it's not like he's going to be like, no, I can't sell it to you. I really like the display. The
It's,
job is to move the inventory. So if somebody comes by and offers to purchase it, or if you already have a buyer built in, sometimes stuff comes in the door and it already has a buyer almost immediately right back out the door. And again,
yeah,
it never saw the showcase, because
yeah,
the ultimate goal is to not have a museum. The ultimate goal is to have things come in and out.
yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. But I appreciate the comment either way. It gave us at least something that we could talk about there, and I think it was a valid critique that we could address. So Rob here followed up. Great episode, guys. The Artifact product looked great this year in last episode, so thank you, Rob. Appreciate that. And then Winston Hart here says, another great video. Nice to see Blair front and center. Thanks. You got some fans, Blair.
A couple.
Yeah, there you go. So appreciate that. So thank you all for those comments. Again, feel free,
Um,
put comments in the comment section. Generally, we'll touch on it in the following episode. So again, both sides. We had critique and we had some appreciation. So both we're
yeah,
happy to cover it.
yeah. And actually, we just back to that artifact comment. We are actually sold out. Artifacts sold extremely well. Um,
Nice.
I know we had a couple of people bought quite a number of boxes, but maybe the Demidov effect. He seems to be one of the hottest things going. So yeah, yeah, it was great this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust, like we do it in different orders. I still have some stuff I want to show you from the shop. I'm
Yeah,
going to do that right now, but I'm going to go through them quickly. So I'm going to go through these quickly, Blair. But before I
sure.
do, first thing I'm going to touch on here, I'm going to go through a couple of the products that are coming in the store. I'm going to list them quickly, and then you can add in anything. I know there's one of the Pokemon ones you were mentioning, but I'll quickly go through the list and then we can touch on it. And then after that, I'll show you the stuff that came in the shop. We'll zip through that quick. I'll do the ultimate, and that'll give us a couple of minutes at the end, a little buffer, and we'll talk about one or two things. So,
Hmm.
first one, 2025 Panini 3 and 2 baseball. Again, availability and pricing. You're curious about any of that? Reach out to the shop. There's a scrolling ticker across the bottom. In the description, we put all the contact points. So if you want to get the specific parameters, if stuff's still available and what the pricing is, reach out directly to the shop. If it's less time sensitive, you can do it in the comment section. 2025 Panini Donruss Optic Basketball International. 2025 Panini Absolute K League Soccer. I'm not familiar with that one, so K League Soccer.
Yeah.
Pokemon EX Box Mega Latias. Okay. Mega Evolution Build and Battle Display. Palladian Fates Booster Bundle. Prismatic Evolution Surprise Box. These are all Pokemon that I'm listing right now. Journey Together pre-release kit and Destined Rivals pre-release kit. Those are all Pokemon. And the last thing is 24-25 Ultimate Upper Deck Ultimate Collection Hockey, which is what I'm going to touch on in a minute. So out of those Pokemon ones, anything notable that is worthwhile mentioning, Blair?
Yeah, the Mega Evolutions Latias EX box, I think that's one of the next in that we had our big release last week, the Mega Evolutions. Um, Absolutely crazy. Friday and Saturday, it was amazing. And I want to give a shout out to our Pokemon. I know it's, some people say it's going to sell anyway, whatever, but we do appreciate all the support, I mean, Pokemon's hot, but we still appreciate it, and it was great. We moved a ton, and it was fun. So trade night was fun. Had a lot of people in shop again. Yeah, so it was great. But yeah, that Laddie's box, that's the next one. And then the Build and Battle is along that lines as well, the Mega Evolution. So that'll be new.
Nice.
Just a new, yeah, the 4-pack Build and Battles. Yep.
Good stuff. I like it.
And then some restocks. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Absolutely. Now, let me share with you a couple of items that came in the shop. We're actually going to start off with some comics. So, Blair is passionate. He enjoyed bringing some of these in. As I said, we'll zip through some of these kind of quick. I want to make sure I touch on
yeah.
them, though, because we've been saving them in our back burner here. First, the CGC 9.6 of Uncanny X-Men 266. That is the first appearance of Gambit. What I like is
Yeah.
that on the CGC slab, they will actually note it here for you. So, right here, they'll tell you first appearance of Gambit and Mystique appearance, which is helpful. If you're not specifically, you might, as a comic person, you probably already know that, but it's just nice to have it right on the label just to tell you front and center. That is why this is a little bit more significant.
It is really helpful, especially for people who are trying to get into comics, or just a different venue. Comics are very visual, like cards are, like photos. I really just love the artwork, and it's just beautiful colors. But yeah, that's the first. There's another book, I forget which one it is now. One of my comic friends would smash me for not knowing the other one, but there is another one that kind of goes back and forth. Maybe the first, not the first, this is the first cover, I guess, of Gambit. There's another one where maybe the first cameo, but yeah,
Mhm.
key book. This one's actually sold since
Mhm.
since I sent you the photos, but
Yep,
yeah, it's nice, just nice to get these keys in. Yeah.
for sure. And in the same vein as what we talked about before, if you are curious and you want to double check, so kind of going back to Kyle's question from earlier,
Hmm.
sometimes we'll show this stuff, but it's already been sold by the time we show it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
you still think it's cool. We still think it's worthwhile discuss because at one point it was in the shop. But sometimes the guys will take a picture and it's sold almost immediately. We still want to show it off because it's an interesting item, whatever it is. But you're always worthwhile asking. Reach out directly to the store and you can ask, hey, do you have whatever? And then they can let you know right away, hey, no, we sold that one already, or yes, we still have it if you wanted to come and check it out.
Yeah, I think that's the key, Carlos. Is just this is why we do this. Like you said, it's some things sell immediately, but it's just nice to know when you show people things. It's oh, I didn't know that was that, or just knowledge is power. So this is why we do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So, second
yeah.
one here is a CGC Fantastic Four number 52, which is the first appearance of the Black Panther. So, same idea, first appearance for a character, and it outlines it there for you. So, you've got that on there. And this is from
Yeah.
1966, this copy. So, again, it gives you the
Awesome
date and
book. Yeah,
everything on there.
it does. Yeah, this is a beauty. Yeah, I love
So,
that cover.
here's a
Yeah.
Wolverine limited series from 1982. And what's funny is this particular depiction of Wolverine is actually included in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. They do quickly make a reference to it amongst the other versions of Wolverine as part of it. If you can have some fun with that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are a 4 book kind of series, so that's number one, of course, and great looking copy.
Yeah. So here is a CGC signature series, Spawn number 1, signed by Todd McFarlane. So you've got the combination of things on that one. And it is a different label for the signature series across the top.
It's
That is kind of a customized label for that one.
exactly custom label, so that adds a little ties into Spawn, and yeah, that's a beautiful looking book. Just took that in the weekend, and it's available. So any Spawn or Todd McFarlane fans, that one's still in the showcase, and it's a
Nice.
9.8. So yeah,
Nice. Very good.
yeah,
Thematically appropriate, since we talked about it a little bit earlier
yay.
there. So we got a Vladdy. This one here is a 2023 Topps Chrome, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Ultraviolet All Stars on autograph, number to 99 on a Topps Chrome. So you got a little bit of a cartoon design, kind of thematically appropriate. We got the comics, and now here's a kind of a cartoony version of it, but it is an
Yeah.
on card auto, which is nice.
It is. It's beautiful car. I picked this up. I actually got this one on Saturday from a gentleman who came in, and we negotiated a little bit. He knew, with the what this could do with the Jays, and Vladdy got hot, and Vladdy did get hot. So yeah, it was kind of a unique card. I didn't know the card, this particular series, so yeah, it was kind of neat, and I definitely tried to get it for the shop, so I just thought it was really cool. But and graded a 9.5 with a 10 auto. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
This one's a little bit thematically appropriate as well. So it's not number 97, but it's one of the other key players there. We got a booklet here, logo autograph booklet with the big Adidas patch on there from the cup. So it is a one of one with an on-card auto there from Drysidle. So
yeah,
very good combination of things. Kind of a fun looking card. Booklets are a little awkward. They do have nice holders for them now, so you can get
yeah.
nice holders for them. But they do offer the opportunity to have, like in this case, look at the size of the patch, and then we still had separate room for the autograph. So that is an advantage of having the extra space to be able to do that.
I love the way they do this with yeah, because if they tried to cram that onto a card, it just would take away from the aesthetics of the card. I love how it again difficult to display, take up a bit more room, but it is in a proper holder. We sell those booklet holders in shop. So yeah, beautiful, stunning looking card in person as well too. That one's still in shop.
Good stuff. So I'm going to zip through the last couple of these because I do want to make
Sure.
sure I talk about Ultimate briefly. So let me zip through. So this
Yeah.
one's from the new Stature, Lane Hudson, numbered to 35, patch on card auto. And these are Stature cards are very shiny in hand. So if you ever
Yeah.
see them, there's a lot of shine to them if you like it. Nice patch piece on there on card auto, numbered to 35, solid.
Yeah, and that was a customer pulled in store, so that's why I wanted to feature that one. So I always love when some people will take the time to open. I know it's tough sometimes. People, it's busy, but this gentleman opened it. He opened a couple, and this was in the second box. So We always love it when people pull amazing stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Excellent. And last couple, like I said, I might have already showcased them before, but I'll quickly
Hmm.
show them again. Why not? For 52 top Mickey Mantle and a good two. Like I said, I think I showed this to Steve, but I might not have. But I still had it in my little folder. So
Hmm.
either way, it's a nice looking card. Aesthetically, it's a very attractive card. And then 53 tops Jackie Robinson, also in a good
Beautiful.
two. Nice clean card. And again, even in these lower grades, you can get it. Like look at that. Look at the front of that card.
It,
That is a crisp front
it's
of that card.
Yeah, you would think both those would even grade higher. Just like so, again, that comes back to you've heard us talk about it. Just the sorry, I lost my train of thought for the word, but
The
just
eye
the way
appeal.
the card presents, the eye appeal. Yeah, absolutely. Eye appeal on both those is great. Yeah. So
Absolutely. So there's a couple of cards in the shop we wanted to feature. Now, for this one, I'm going to leave a link in the description. I kind of combined a couple of things. Link in the description.
hmm
2425 Upper Deck Ultimate. There is some beautiful stuff in there. I'm going to go really high level on this one because we're just mindful of time here. But
Yep.
regardless, I will say to you, check it out. You know, the cup is obviously at the very top. Ultimate, though, does offer some nice stuff that you can pull, some nice patches,
hmm
some nice autographs. And I'll show you at least a couple of the mock ups there so you can see.
hmm
And that is going to be releasing in the shop this week. And from what I saw, I think the shop is going to have pretty good quantity of these boxes if you're interested.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick, so Go GTS is where I'm going to use. It has the checklist on here and some images, and again, I'll show you images in a different tab in a second. But I'm going to go real quick on this one, so feel free to slow it down and take a second and listen, and also check out the link if you want to read through it yourself. But it'll give you some stuff that you can check out. So what you can expect here is a combination of three autograph, premium memorabilia, premium tech, and/or autograph memorabilia cards, and one numbered base card, ultimate introduction, or unsigned rookie card in every box. So that's the configuration that's included in these boxes. So the configuration overall is 16 boxes with one pack. So they're one pack boxes.
Yep.
And then you've got 4 cards in each one of these boxes. So that's what your combination is. And we've actually done a break of a case of Ultimate previous years. So if you want
Yep.
to check it out on the channel, Brad has sacrificed himself for us to open some. So again, it is a feast or famine product. So I will give you fair warning. There is some beautiful cards you can pull in this,
Yeah.
but if you know the floor and the ceiling, there is a gap between the two. So just be aware of that. That is part of the deal with these products. Okay, so going through it again, this gives you the box break that you can expect. So what you're looking at is 100 card base set, 75 veterans, 25 greats. So you do have people in legend rotation. I already did my scan. Medano is in there as he always is, so I'll keep my
Yeah.
eyes open.
Yep.
I actually received in hand here. I'll quickly show it. So this actually came in not the mail, but nonetheless I received it. So here is an ultimate,
Oh, beautiful.
and that's the previous year's ultimate. So a Medano on card auto on that one. So
Nice.
again, for the legends, there are legends in the legends rotation, and that's the kind of stuff. They are
Yep.
hard signed signatures. So that's
Yep.
basically what you got to bear in mind. So that's the previous year. Same concept here. Same general idea. So they do have some great rookie cards in there. Ultimate introductions, rookie inserts, ultimate phenoms. You do have different one of ones that you can do, and you've got the auto shield patch, which is a massive, massive. In again, previous breaks, Brad and Sherry did pull an Austin Matthews shield.
That's correct. Yeah.
So it is possible to pull some massive stuff. And that that card actually, I know a seller bought it at the expo from Steve. Uh, and I believe that seller had it in the last expo as well. So that card has
Ah,
rotated. So but we know
yeah.
exactly what that card is because we saw Brad and Sherry pull it on video. All
Cool.
right, so real quick, I'll go through Ultimate Material Signatures. That's hard signed, as I mentioned earlier. We got rookie
Yep.
tandem shield patches. You've got that Ultimate Emblem, so you can have a nice big emblem piece. Ultimate signatures I mentioned, ultimate quad materials. So again, you got your cell sheet and everything included in there, and you can have dual patches. So similar to this
Yep.
right here, this Logan Couture. I'll show you another quick set of images as well. These ones are okay, but let me share with you a different one. Like I said, I'll include links to all of this in the description
hmm
for you, so you can check it out, and that'll be a good way for you to take a closer look. So here are some other examples, and this one is just from Upper Deck. This is on their Facebook page, so I'll share it with you. I'll go through them quickly. So there's a Connor Bedard there. Again, it's a
Beautiful.
mock-up, but the potential is there to have some really nice patch pieces. Jumbo patch autograph there. There's an Austin
Nice.
Matthews. Ultimate Access Marc-Andre Fleury. Autograph Pro Threads.
Pro threads.
Yep, Signature Premium Materials. And here's an on-card auto. Drysdale again. So you can see kind of, again,
Cool.
mock-ups. but the general example, you get the general idea. If
Yeah.
you're familiar with Ultimate from previous years, it's a lot of what you should expect. There are, like quad autographs available.
Yeah.
Again, patch autographs are available. Nice patch pieces are available. A lot of the patches and such are all game used.
Yep.
Always double check the back, but for the most part, Upper Deck is pretty good about making sure a lot, especially for this kind of product, most of that stuff included, especially shields and such, game use. So you can check out
Absolutely.
on the back of those ones.
Yeah. Hard signed autographs. Just a great looking product, and it's a good rookie crop. It's proven to be a good rookie crop with Hudson and Celebrini, Nichkov, and others. So yeah.
Absolutely. So again, if you wanted to check out some of that more information in more detail, again, I zipped through it quickly. I know I just wanted to make sure I was mindful of time before we went to one last thing. But information is in the description. I'm leaving the links there for you so you can check out the images, the mock-ups, and also you can actually download the checklist in PDF or Excel and be able to scroll through, find your players, find your teams, get everything, all the information you need, and make sure you double check the checklist because you want to make sure that you know what's available so that you're not disappointed. You don't want to be looking for
Yeah.
something that's not there. So that's always good to double check because again, the boxes tend to be not inexpensive. Let's just put it that way. It's not a low end product. It is, and you're only getting 4 cards. So these tend to be more for breaks a lot of times. But again, you can pull on something really nice at the same time if you want to take your chances. But you are taking your chances. We always give that caveat off the top.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Now, speaking of, just to finish off, since we touched on it at the beginning, let's show it off at the end. We talked about the Gong Show repack and everything. We had discussed it. Blake gave the details. Steve gave a little
Yeah.
bit of background information. The physical boxes now exist in the real world. There. Do you
They-
want to show the people what's available if they're so inclined? There it is.
So this is, and on the back, it exactly says, it says no junk, no skunks, transparent. So it comes with the you can
QR code.
QR code that, and it'll bring you to the list of what's exactly there and what's in it, what the chances are. It's the founders edition, so again, only 300 boxes done. So that's small in hindsight.
Mhm.
For a repack, and again, so hard sign autos, game use patches, that kind of thing, quality stuff. A gentleman opened up a couple in shop the other day, one of our customers who likes to do that, and he got a couple of actually funny. He got two Marc Messiers. I don't know if I should be giving this information and stuff off, but two Marc Messier hard signed autographs, both numbered. One was to 25, and I forget what the other one was, but
Mhm.
so nice stuff, and yeah.
Yeah. So the main reason we wanted to show you so you can see what the packaging looked like because there was the question before, like, is it being, professionally packaged?
It
Is it
totally
being
is.
randomized? Yeah. So
Yeah.
as I mentioned, again, still not my place to say more specific, but I can say that the people that were responsible for putting those together, the actual physical boxes and everything, they are people who are very familiar with it and known in the space for doing that. They are very specific to it. And
Yeah.
the other piece of the puzzle is I can tell you that just again, the Gong Show guys will be the ultimate point. If there's any specific questions about the product, you
Yeah.
would reach out to them because they can give you all the details. But also, one specific thing I can mention about it is that they were out at the Saskatchewan Card Show this past weekend,
I
and they
saw
brought a
that.
bunch of those boxes to it, and they sold through a chunk of it. So there's a good chance it probably will sell sooner rather than later. So AMG might have the biggest supply remaining of the stuff right now.
It's yeah. I didn't get a count on totally what we had. But I know they were totally randomized. Like this one is for special, but I went to the wall. There's 129, there's 224, there's four. So we did get I don't think we got like box 100 to 200. It
Mhm.
was yeah. So it was from what I saw anyway.
Good stuff. So there
Yep.
you go. So we
Yep.
wanted to make sure we touched on it. We began with that concept and we ended with that concept. Again, links in the description to Ultimate if you're interested in that. Another feast or famine product, but again, an opportunity if you're interested, and you can pull some really nice stuff out of it. And Ultimate does
Absolutely.
have some beautiful cards. Again, check out the checklist. That way, you'll know exactly what's possible, what's available, and you can then chase after the singles afterwards as well if you want to check out what's available. And hopefully, some people pull some good stuff. I'd love to see some nice singles out there, and that'll give people different opportunities. So Go ahead.
Yeah, and I posted just on AMG's site just a little view of this and what we have, and I tried to do a nice picture of the QR code. I think you could probably access it off that if you want to go there and kind of do it. But I'm sure through the Gong Show you could find that as well. So, yep,
Absolutely. So good stuff. So Blair,
yeah,
I think that works out really well. And we'll be back next episode for episode 100. We will have Steve back in the house and we'll be able to talk a little bit more about what some of the stuff that's coming up. But for now, that'll set everybody up as we get through October. We are in spooky season. So we got a couple more weeks before we do that. You know, Boo, Jason Voorhees, and Michael Myers walking by. And then when that's done, again, a week later, Expo time. So we're getting closer.
it's true. Yeah, love it.
Good stuff. All right.
Go
So for
Jays.
that, hey, go Jays. So for myself and Bonus Blair, again, we enjoyed episode 99. Again, feel free to give questions, feedback, the whole thing, put in the comments section. And again, links to everything will be in the description so you can check it out for yourself. So for us this time around, we thank you. We'll catch you in the next one.